back.
Good morning, Chicago. Welcome to Men on Higher Learning, who's a subsidiary of the Higher Learning Network. We're here live today here in the studio. Hey, hope y'all stay tuned to the show. Today's show is being sponsored by Zelda Robinson's Communications, home of inspiration and information. There's information on how to get free grant money for poets, artists, ex-offenders, churches, and much, much more. Also, today's show has been sponsored by who?
iTex.
iTex.
And we're recording live here today at the Higher Learning Network. Thank you so much for joining us. I had to put on my little helpers here. You can catch us on Ustream if you like, ustream.tv, or this is the correct address, http://ustre.am/GPQL, or just go to the higherlearningnetwork.org.
And you can also, y'all can call in. Anyone who wants to call in, you can call in since we're live today, 312-738-1847. That's 312-738-1847.
45.
45. 1845. Got me corrected. 738-1845. So please feel free to call in.
Today's show is also sponsored by Karen Kelly of iTech Chicagoland, showing entrepreneurs and business owners how not to spend cash, but to barter for your personal and business items. So you be sure and hang around to get that information. So grab pen and paper. Higher Learning Network Resource Center is here to give you all the information that you need to help improve the quality of your life and that of your family. Now, speaking of business, are you a business owner or thinking about becoming an entrepreneur? Then this is the show for you. You can take your business to the next level. Have you been a home-based business for a while and it's time to move out and expand? Has the nuances of your business, of your industry changed and you have to catch up to remain competitive? Evaluate where you are and determine where you want to go. Coming up October 22nd from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m., U.S. Bank at 1000 East 111th Street in Chicago is having an event. You can Google that information or go to higherlearningnetwork.org and that information will be there. Also in November, the Women's Business Development Center, which is located at 8 South Michigan, has a free event for you as well to begin the process of moving your business forward. And there's alternative sources of finances, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later. But right now, I'd like to talk to my co-host, Mr. Tony Hoves, and you have a show coming on tonight. We don't want to forget that. Men on Higher Learning. What time does that come on?
Yeah, Men on Higher Learning comes on tonight. You'll see me doing an interview with the old group, the Manhattans, although they're a new group because they're younger members. And these guys here, they were very nice, very excellent interview. So please tune in tonight around 10 p.m. and check it out.
On Channel 19.
Channel 19.
Tony Hoves and interviewing the Manhattans. That was the International Festival of Life.
Festival of Life, of course. Also, the show will also be aired again Sunday, the 12th of October at 11:30 a.m. So for those who miss it tonight, check me out Sunday morning on the 12th at 11:30 a.m.
All right, I'm excited about that. Even though I was there, I still want to see it again. There's nothing like seeing it. Even though you're editing it, there's nothing like seeing it live on television. So once again, if you'd like to call in and be a part, you have questions this morning, give us a call at 312-738-1845. That's 312-738-1845. Also, if you're thinking about alternative sources of financing, you might want to consider which financial partnership will work best for your business venture. You can meet a banker, a micro lender, a factoring professional, and kickstart equity specialist. What does that mean? Somebody that can show you how to get the money, okay? We as in they will discuss programs and services and the best solutions for your business growth. Now that's also going on at the Women's Business Development Center, 8 South Michigan, and also Sankofa Cultural Arts Center at 5820 West Chicago Avenue. And Tony, you know, we both have been talking about, we've been getting a lot of referrals from the Safer Foundation for the work that we do for ex-offenders. jobs, referrals, resources, and things of that nature. And we were blessed with the opportunity to attend the Safer Foundation 13th Annual CARE Policy Conference at the UIC Pavilion. And that conference was all about reducing recidivism in the Cook County and whatever jails there are. In other words, we don't want you going back and forth. So we've got a lot of information for that. And a special thanks to Anthony Lowry, who invited us there, who also attends the monthly meetings that I host as at the Westside Ministers Coalition, where Reverend Dr. Lewis Flowers was the chairman and director for a very long time, but he passed away, and he passed it on to Dr. Felice Binion. And it's a great networking session every first Thursday of the month, so mark your calendars. It's free. Bring your business cards. There's lots of information there, lots of networking, and you'll be glad you did. If you just have information that you want to get out to the community, and you can't get it on the show, this
so
is the
please,
place for
you people at home, if you got a cousin, a nephew, uncle, whoever, who's an ex-offender, because we know it's hard out here for people who's done a little time and you're trying to get out and do the right thing. So please get in contact so we can point them in the right direction.
And speaking of right direction, a legal clinic for small businesses this is some information that I got attending the CARE conference the other day. Bethel New Life has a legal clinic for small businesses as well as ex-offenders. The phone number there to call is 773-473-7870. That's 773-473-7870, extension 113. And it's free, open to the public. It's co-sponsored with the Law Project, the Austin Chamber of Commerce, and the West Humboldt Park Council. Now that's all taking place Thursday, November 6th from 8:30 a.m. until noon. And you can also visit their website too, bethelnewlife.org. And back to the ex-offenders, we all know somebody who knows somebody.
Everybody does.
Who's incarcerated or
been incarcerated.
And they're having issues trying to get housing. Well, one of the things that I learned at the conference is that there is a new affordable housing opportunity for individuals with criminal records who have turned their lives around, and it's called the CHA Reentry Pilot. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Sponsored by the Chicago Coalition for the Homeless. 49% of people in homeless shelters have criminal records because returning citizens are routinely denied access to jobs and housing even after they turn their lives around. Now, how the CHA Reentry Pilot helps: one step in the right direction starting January 2015, but don't wait until the last minute.
Right.
You want to get on this now, because the CHA Reentry Pilot will only house 50 people. That's not a lot of people.
No.
50 people who would otherwise be denied due to a criminal record. So you need to contact the Chicago Coalition for the Homeless, and there is a wealth of information. If you know someone, please spread the word, because it's crucial that we help those who
There's so many
help
out there, and the system is set up really to make you fail.
Yes, it is.
Especially when you're a minority, as they say. So who's really a minority, but as
right.
society says. Yeah, so get in contact with us, the Higher Learning Network, and check out the website, and hey, give us a call, and we will definitely point you in the right direction.
And we also have a list of 60 companies that are hiring ex-offenders. Isn't that wonderful?
Sounds good, I'm sure.
If you go to the website, it's all there. Just to name a few: Amoco, Ace Hardware, Avis Rent-A-Car, BF Goodrich, Canon.com, Caterpillar, Dairy Queen. I mean, the list goes on. We've got like 60 organizations that are helping ex-offenders get back into the workforce. So if that's something you're interested in and you need help with that, then you need to contact those and look on the website, higherlearningnetwork.org. One of the things, Tony, that I think we need to talk about today is climate change.
Oh my God, it has changed so tremendously.
Back in the day,
yeah.
we used to have summers. I mean, we would know the difference.
Summers.
We would know the difference when the seasons change. We
Yeah.
don't know what season this is.
Well, it's so confusing to us because it's got the trees confused. They don't know when we'll let the leaves fall now when it's
Right,
fall.
right.
And I mean, this is really terrible.
I was overheard a conversation the other day, and the conversation was about the weather and how wealthy people invest in the weather. We don't know anything about that. And if you go to higherlearningnetwork.org and click on resources and information, you'll see some information there about climate change. Now, I overheard this conversation. One person said to another is that I forgot the wealthy family's name. Was it the Kennedys, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, one of these very wealthy families? They said they took their money out of stocks and bonds.
Wow.
They are now investing in weather. So we wonder why the weather is all messed up, because the powers that be, have the power to change the weather,
Yeah.
as well as the stocks that go along with the weather.
Like I always say, though, I think they need to stop building so many apartment buildings and start planting some more trees, because that would
Yes.
help even out what's going on
The
right now.
ecosystem.
Because it's
The
really just
ecosystem.
terrible.
And that reminds me, that information is included in our upcoming newsletter, of inspiration and information provided by the Higher Learning Network. So if you'd like to subscribe to the newsletter, and we give you updates, jobs, resources, all that good information, you can log on to the website, and you can also email us to subscribe, and that email address is higherlearningnw@gmail.com. That's higherlearningnw@gmail.com. Coming up, we've got a few guests here today I think that you'll be interested in. One is an author. You know, we love authors here because Tony's an author himself.
Yeah, I'm writing a book now.
Well, this is your second book.
Yeah, she always
Your
tells
first
me that
book
it was a
is
cookbook.
Southern
Style Cooking with a Twist, which features my mom's home cooking rice, which all
Miss Annie.
All of my wife's friends, they love it. Matter of fact, when they come over, they ask Zelda, "Is Tony cooking?"
Yeah, they don't ask if I'm cooking, they ask if you're cooking.
Well, yeah, but my second book will be coming out. I used to be a patrolman for the Chicago housing projects, and I'm writing about that, you know. And I mentioned the Honorable Jane Burns, so soon I will be interviewing her daughter, Kathy, here. So stay tuned for that also.
Okay.
And also buy my book when it gets published. In the next 2 months or so, I should have it published.
So we're working on that. It's a labor of love, but it can be done. And coming up, we have an author who talks about something that is near and dear to me and you and many others, because so many of us have been wearing our hair that in a manner processed hair. And it's taking our hair out around the edges, big bald spots in the top. So we're just going to talk about natural hair care.
Yeah, that would be a great thing. I think a lot of young ladies at home need to tune in. And wow, my teleprompter just came up. It feels better, like I'm really knowing what I'm doing. But yeah, man, this would be great for your next interview here.
Yes, I look forward to it. And I'm going to do one public service announcement. Can't get the words out. And then we'll go to a commercial. There is a film by Shuli Ashell, who is a media consultant, filmmaker and media consultant to the Higher Learning Network. And she has an event coming up at the Temple Shalom on Sunday, November 23rd from 3 until 5 p.m. It's a free event, and it's at 3480 North Lake Shore Drive. If you've ever had an interest in filming, it would do you good, because we've done our first documentary, and you'll see a little bit of that. And you could just learn something, so feel free to go. Yeah. So if you just tuned in, we're broadcasting live here at the Higher Learning Network Broadcast Center. I'm Zelda Robinson, your host.
And I'm Tony Holes, host of Men on Higher Learning, which is a subsidiary of the Higher Learning Network.
And today we've got more in store, so you stay close, and we'll be right back with one of Chicago's hottest authors, Naturally Me. So. We are live here at the Higher Learning Network Broadcast Center, and We're talking today with an author who is author of an awesome new book. I just met her at the Kroc Center, and what was it, Darlene Tate's, what was it, Self-Employment Project, the Self-Employment Project. And, you know, you run into people who have a message that's so very, very important that you just must share it. So I'd like you to introduce you to a young lady who is the author of I'm Proud to Be Natural Me, written and illustrated by Marlene Dillon. Welcome, Marlene.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on your show.
And thank you for showing up today. Tell us, how did this project all get started?
Well, I'm Proud to Be Natural Me is my personal labor of love. I've always had a bit of an issue with the way that people of color, particularly Black people, value base values on color, on hair texture, and things like that. So I said that if I ever had an opportunity, I would want to teach the children so that they would be able to know that, you know, that they're beautiful the way that they are. And in the process, I ended up realizing, like, it's not just a story for Black children, like little brown girls with curly hair. I'm realizing that it is an issue that all races experience of not feeling like they are enough as they are.
All races of people have a tendency to feel, because we live in a modern society that shows us videos and television that says you've got to be a certain size, you've got to wear your hair a certain way, you have to drive a certain thing, you have to live at a certain spot, you have to take a vacation at a certain spot, and none of that is true.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I honor you for listening to the spirit that is within you to teach through your book our little girls, especially our little girls and boys who have hair that's kinky, who are extra curly, as I like to call it, because I love being happy and nappy.
See,
so,
as do I.
So it's like, what was the process for you to become natural and not use chemicals in your hair anymore?
The funny thing is, my sister was natural first, and she said to me, I want you to do it with me. I want you to stop putting the perm in your hair or relaxer in your hair.
Really?
So, and I asked her, the only way I'm going to do this is if you tell me why you're doing it.
Okay.
And she said to me that that we are the only people who, when we wear our hair in its natural state, that it becomes like an issue in a corporate setting. And I knew that at the time I was planning on going into advertising, and I said, okay, well, I will never put another relaxer in my hair, because it made me really think about that, that I'm not accepting myself, and that's not good enough for me. So from that point forward, I never straightened my hair again chemically, and it's been like the best thing that I've ever done. I've never been more confident in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
And why do you think that is?
Because it's something when you actually accept yourself, like the real you, with no extras, no chemicals. Like, I go out now, like when I do important things, like a lot of times I don't make the extra effort to put on like foundation and makeup. You know, I am who I am. And I used to be full face of makeup. I couldn't go anywhere without it. And now it's just really freed me to be the whole me and be okay with it.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel very like strong within. It's a confidence that no one can shake. It's even if I go out, like, and I see other women who are like dressed to the nines and makeup and like weave down their back, like I still feel just as strong. Like I don't feel any less, and that was not my experience prior.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let the record show that we are not hating on the sisters who wear weave.
Not at all.
Not at all. This is not about that. This is about coming into your own and being comfortable with who you are, wherever you are.
Right.
And if that takes a weave for you, then so be it. I wore weave and still wear wigs. It just depends on the day how I feel. So it's okay.
And I agree with that.
And it's a personal journey.
Exactly.
You know, someone may never be able to wear their hair natural, and that's okay
right.
too. You know, different strokes for different folks. But publishing, did you self-publish?
I self-published.
And why did you self-publish?
I self-published honestly because I was broke. I had not $1 to my name, and I knew that I wanted to write this book. So I went searching for places where I could do it for free. And
Where you could do what for free?
where I could self-publish for free.
Okay.
Yes. So I did all my own illustrations because
You're an illustrator.
Right. So it worked out perfectly because I didn't have the money to
And
pay
I
someone
love
to
the
do
copy.
it.
I love this copy of her book. Little brown babies. And they cute, because that's us.
Thank you.
That's
Yes.
us. That's
Yeah.
we. That's who we be. Now, that's one of the things that we teach here at the Higher Learning Network is to self-publish, because just like you see the brothers and sisters selling socks and DVDs and t-shirts,
Right.
you can be selling your books, and for
Yes.
those who don't want to read the book, they can buy it on CD or DVD.
Right.
So if you're interested in self-publishing, be sure and contact us here at the Higher Learning Network.org. You can always email us, Higher Learning N as in net, W as in work, higherlearningnw@gmail.com. What would you say to someone who is thinking about telling their story in a book form, and why should they do it?
Well, for me, I feel that if you don't share that thing that's within you, like, it'll always nag you. It's not going away. And a lot of people have that, like, oh, I meet people all the time. They say, I always wanted to write a book. I have a story in me, but they won't do anything about it because they look too far ahead. And they say, I don't know how I would ever sell the book. I don't know how I would ever get it published. Where would I find an illustrator? But that's really not your work. Your work is to do the next step.
Right.
And then the step after that.
Right.
And that's what I did. Like, when I saw it as a daunting task, I said no.
Right.
And I went back and I just said, what's my next step? And that's how it gets done. And it's actually a simpler process when you look at it that way.
Right, because now you can do things much more efficiently with the
Yes,
internet.
yes.
You don't have all of those issues that you had before. So I know you've got a story. Everyone's got a story to tell. And we want to hear your story, and we'd like to help you publish that story. So just contact us at the Higher Learning Network. And thank you so much
Thank you.
for being a blessing to the Higher Learning Network and showing the people who are watching that it's possible
Thank
to do
you.
what you're doing. We're going to go take a commercial break, but first I want to remind you to call in the number. We're broadcasting live here at the Higher Learning Network, and that number is 312-738-1845. I'm Zelda Robinson, your host, and we'll be right back with some Chicago candidates that are running for office. Thanks for joining us on the Higher Learning Network. And come on back. Okay, I'll get you good, Bubbles. How about that? Yay! Oh, that was a big one.
I want to make a bigger one.
Okay. Woo!
Hello,
Gonna have bubbles for me? I see little people. Hi. What's your name?
Vika.
Spell it for me.
V-I-K-A.
Vika.
Yeah.
Who's your mom?
Olga.
Olga. Is that Olga?
You've been feeding yourself sugary water all day in the sun.
There you go again. Be what? Dehydrated?
Yeah.
Nah, Mike, say it
I didn't see it.
Well,
No water. That tastes good. I feel good, like I can move, like
everybody thirsty?
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna have to go to the wells so we can get something to drink. Grab your buckets, kid.
start walking.
So we need some water, but you don't want to drop it in. Drop it into the well.
Mike Splash.
And that is our Toys for Tots program this year for the Higher Learning Network. We've joined forces with the European American Association. If you have toys that you would like to make a better Christmas for an underprivileged child, then please contact us at the Higher Learning Network, or you can drop it off at 2827 West Division. That is the European American Association, and they would love to have the toys. So, you know, when you're out shopping, doing your thing, you know, save a few bucks just for a child for Christmas, okay? All right, girls, spin it around. Hey. Woo.
Hi, my name is Rosalind Fawcett, and I'm from Plum, Chicago, and you are watching the Higher Learning Network. Oh, hello. How are you? Yes, Beyonce here.
Okay, girl, what you doing here today?
Oh, I just decided to crash this course and see what's happening with them. You know, I'm singing and I'm doing a lot of touring, but I'd like to get into acting a little bit more. So I decided when I knew that Robert Townsend was going to have this class, I decided I would crash it and check it out and try to suck up as much knowledge as I could so that I could begin to transcend and bring this career full circle. You know what I'm saying?
They done film. So what do you mean you're about to start?
Well, as you know, the things that I've done, with the exception of possibly Dreamgirls, didn't get as much support. You remember the hip opera and things of that nature? I wasn't as prepared as I should be. So I figured I'd come here and suck up some knowledge and get a little more prepared. So, you know, I think the last time I was a little bit drunk in love, and so now I'm sober and I'm ready to learn.
Okay.
Latifa, and you're watching ZTV on the Higher Learning Network. Get your head right.